Hello, everyone. I'm Saleha, and this is Chai, Chat, and Community. Tonight, we are talking about moms returning to work after a career break. I'm going to read out some research that I found online. Research says mothers are more likely than fathers to reduce employment to care for young children. The proportion of mothers employed, though, continues to increase. Within couple families, the proportion with both parents working full time hours is increasing 31% in 2021, up from 22% in 2009, although it remains more common for one parent to be a full time uh, uh, earner and other part time. So 36% in 2021. In a survey by a recruitment firm, it was found that of women in Australia and New Zealand reported having a career break. For women, maternity and parental leave were most common form of break, followed by travel. For many women, going back to employment after a career break is daunting, and the reasons are many, including um, skill degradation, low commitment, and low ambition. This also results in wage penalty. To mitigate this, I have with me two moms who are helping women to get back into the workforce. But before I introduce you to my awesome guests, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Leah.
Hello, it's lovely to be here.
Same here. So before we take, and I can see there are quite a few watching us. Can you tell us something about yourselves? Anita, do you want to go first? I always do alphabetically, so it's easier.
Sure. So my name's Anita. I'm one of the co-founders of Mumbleme. This is an idea that I came across about 7 years ago when I lived in Chicago for 5 years. Before that, I was in marketing in the banking and finance sector. I'd done some business roles, ops roles, and sales roles. When my husband moved to Chicago, I found it myself difficult to find work, and through freelancing and getting contract work, I came across a similar idea about getting mums into work, and it sort of played on my mind for the last 5 years. I guess for the 5 years I was in Chicago, and then when I moved back to Australia, I'd met Jess just randomly for coffee. We'd met a couple of times in the US when she was living there, and she asked me, "What do you want to do now that you're back?" And I said, "Well, I have this idea." And she basically said, "I'll help you." And I realized in that moment it was born, and I was kind of, I was in it. That was the day it started, and it's been a couple of years' journey. I have 2 children of my own. I do work part-time for an IT firm, and I'm very busy, Celia.
Yes, I'm sure.
Very busy doing lots of things, but this particular project and business and startup has been very close to my heart. And, there's lots of times along the way where I thought, I'm just going to give up today. And those will be the days where I either get a message or an email, or we get a bunch of signups. And it's just my little inkling to keep going because it's really important work.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Anita. Jess?
Thank you, Saleha, and thanks also, Anita, for going first. So my name is Jessica Wong-Saunderson. My friends call me Jess, so please feel free to call me Jess. So I'm a tax lawyer by trade, tax lawyer and accountant, about 16 years of experience in the Big Four accounting firms in Melbourne, Sydney, New York, and even Kolkata. So that's my day job in terms of the world of mergers and acquisitions, cross-border tax, so big transactions. And I sort of love the energy of that. I'm a mum of 2 kids under 3. So I've got my eldest turning 3 this month. We're having a birthday party
Hands
this coming
full.
weekend. Hands full. And I've also got a 7-month-old. So 2 boys, lots of energy. And I'm actually on my second parental leave. So I took 8 months off on parental leave with the firstborn. And currently I'm taking a year off from my day job. As Anita said, serendipitously, kind of a couple of years ago, our worlds kind of collided. And for me, with my sort of tax and legal accounting background, I had been working sort of mentoring female startup founders and really wanting to build a business of my own, but hadn't come across the right idea yet. And it was like the universe aligned and brought Anita and I together. And I said, hey, and I was actually on my first parental leave at the time that we caught up. And so I was like, hey, let's do this together. And as Anita said, like, we've just been working on Mumbleme and building this platform and this movement, because our desire is to empower and support other working mothers in Australia to have them thrive in both their career journeys and in their lives as parents. So yeah, lovely to be here.
Same here. Lovely to have you guys. How did you come up with the name?
That one was, it's not a very exciting story, but yeah, I guess it's a significant story because lots of people have told us to change the name, but no one can really give us another option that rivals it. But yeah, I think there was at the time or previously there's a platform called Bumble in the US that was meant to be, one of these platforms that join people together, friendships or, platonic relationships or even, romantic relationships. And at the time, it was COVID, and I was, I was sort of still in America, but still had this desire one day when I went back to, start this business. So I just kind of thought, what's the first thing you need to do? You need to come up with a name and you need to register it. And that will hopefully get the train moving, at some point. And so I was like, it has to, I guess, have the word mum in it somehow. And at the time I kind of wanted it to be Mumble, and I wanted the BLE to stand for something. And I thought, well, maybe we could do something with like business and life and equality. And then I found that the whole name was taken, Mumble. And so my friend was sitting with me at the time, and she was like, just put a me on the end of it. And that's basically it. It's not super exciting. The name wasn't taken.
Very exciting.
And she said, oh, you can always change it later. I was like, sure, we probably will. And we just haven't been able to. I don't know. It's just kind of stuck.
It's a lovely name. It's so different.
Yeah, I think I like it because people kind of go, what? And you have to say it a few times. And it's a memorable conversation when you say the name. So,
absolutely. So, how do you help women who have a career break to get back into the workforce? And what kind of services are you offering?
I'm happy to start. And Anita, feel free to jump in. So we are a platform that connects mums who are looking for work with employers who have job skill shortages. So they have job vacancies. And our whole premise is that when you become a parent, mum does not lose her brain. She's actually gains extra skills. So she's highly talented, highly qualified, and she's got these exceptional additional skills. When you rear a child, you're like multitasking, making quick decisions, very efficient. And so companies are missing out on this talent. And so our platform is about connecting these two sides together. And there's more to it, which we'll explain in a bit. But in terms of the mums that are returning to work, it's definitely for mums that are looking to return to work and look for a new job. But it's also for mums that might have older children, or mums that have taken a break, or in fact, anyone that's taken a longer break. We're not exclusive to mums. We're definitely for mums because of some of the statistics that you mentioned earlier, Saleha. And if I may just take this opportunity just to share one statistic that really speaks to, actually two statistics. I'll be quick, but what I often sort of quote when we're talking about Mumbleme is the Australian government actually released some stats. It was the Women's Economic Equality Task Force late last year in 2023. So they did a lot of research and released this report, and it basically said a 25-year-old female that ends up becoming a parent in her lifetime will earn $2 million less compared to a 25-year-old male that ends up being a parent in their lifetime. And that's based on sort of current trends extrapolated to the future. So we go, whoa, $2 million gap in lifetime
That's a lot of
earnings.
money.
That's a lot of money. Like that can be, for some people, I acknowledge for some really well-to-do people, that might not seem like a lot, but for the common person, $2 million could mean paying off their mortgage. It could mean, paying for their children's education. It could be so many things. It could be a comfortable retirement. So those kinds of numbers make me really angry, and sort of, want to do something about it. And but the other stat I just want to quickly share is in the first 5 years of a woman's entering into parenthood, her earnings reduces by 55%. So that's pretty
55.
significant. Yeah.
Whoa.
And of course, there's usually the break and all of that. But what we're seeing, and, we've been talking to hundreds and hundreds of mums in the last couple of years as we've been building Mumbleme. And even before Mumbleme, and I got to say, in my 16 years of corporate career, and Anita has a similar amount of time in her marketing career, we've observed so many women that sort of, get to, again, very highly talented and educated and experienced. And then you kind of get to this stage of parenthood. And because it's difficult, we're all mums, it's hard when, you're looking after kids and you're trying to juggle. And so many choose to opt out, or take lesser paid roles or less senior roles to make it work. And so that contributes to that reduction in the earnings. But going back to your question, though, Sally, is yes, we support working mums who are returning to work after a short break, or it could be a longer break. And in fact, where we even though we're for mums, we do welcome anyone that is in a situation where they're wanting to look for work through our platform.
And I think
so it can be just women who are, doesn't have to be a mom. Correct. It can be any women. Yep.
And I think to add to that, we're not just for mums who've had a career break. We're also for mums who are currently working that feel like they cannot leave their current job because they get flexibility where they are. And then they get into this mode of thinking that I'm kind of stuck here until maybe a window opens up, and kind of the longer you stay, the longer you do end up staying. And so that can also contribute to the lack of earnings, right? Because you're not getting the opportunity to progress your career at the momentum that, other people are. And so, if, there might be some mums, working currently that go, oh, I've been in this job for way longer than I should be, and I should be progressing, and my skills I feel overskilled for my job. We're also for them, right? This platform needs to be one where women not only get a job, but can progress their career.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is, what kind of services do you offer? I ask this because, as you said, it's not just mums, but they're also women who want to get into the workforce. I know there are lots of international people who come here on permanent residency, and their wives have full working rights, but they don't know how to navigate the Australian workforce. And everybody wants experience, local experience, but nobody's willing to give you that experience. And I think that is a catch-22 for most international people who are let's say most migrants. And also, there are international students who have working rights. Would you help them? And when I say students, it's women, obviously.
Yeah. I think the answer to both of those is yes. If you've got working rights in Australia, we absolutely would, encourage you to not just sign up to the platform, but add in your resume and your preferences, because part of the service that we're trying to offer is analysing the mums and the women and the preferences of how they like to work. Flexibility preferences is really important. Do you like to travel? Do you not? Do you like to work from home or remotely? Do you want to be in the office? Some mums actually want to go and leave their home and go somewhere else for the day, which is great. You don't want to necessarily be stuck at home. And so part of that service is put your resume on, because it helps us actually identify the right kind of employers and show employers that there's a volume of women wanting particular working preferences. At the moment, we're obviously heavily targeting women in IT roles and tech roles. That's really important to us. We've got quite a few signups in that area, so we strongly recommend, if you have those skills, to sign up so that we can identify the right employers to start not only just matching those skills and bringing the jobs on the platform, but really trying to influence the employers on maybe how could they look at their working, their employee, I guess, remit. Can you offer part-time? Can you redesign some roles? Because you are missing a whole cohort of very highly skilled and educated people that could do your role, but maybe they just can't do it in the traditional 9 to 5 days in the office kind of way. And so obviously, like I've said, it's great that this platform is meeting a social need, but at the end of the day, employers are running a business, and to change them and influence them in a certain way, there needs to be a really compelling reason. And we believe that that compelling reason is the volume of numbers. That really speaks wonders. I think the other part of the platform is we have an activator model. So we don't provide all of the services. We're not the ones who are going to train you or rewrite your resume or coach you. But we look to partner with all of those people and bring them onto our platform. And so we encourage people who are listening as well, if you work with groups of mums or you work with employers, come and talk to us, because what we envisage is a platform that harnesses the ecosystem that's currently available to mums but not easily accessible.
Okay. Yeah. Jess, did you want to say something?
One thing that I would supplement is a really cool way that we like to describe our platform is just as, the phrase that it takes a village to raise a child, but, just as it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to help support a mum in
Absolutely.
her career. And so what we do as a platform, we're about bringing in all the different people and supporters, of which there are already many. We're bringing them onto our platform, so that you've got these supporters, the resume writers, the trainers, all of that. And on the employer side, we've got D&I, so diversity, inclusion consultants and HR people that are already supporting employers in rethinking their job specs and all of that, and thinking about the future of work. We bring all of these players together, but Mumbleme is about that connection point of getting these mums and women into jobs. We're bringing together the village to help support you.
Yeah.
So most important questions, because we are talking about migrants here, and like I told you, that's my audience space. Do women have to be citizens or permanent residents to be eligible to apply?
So to sign up to Mumbleme, you don't have to be a citizen, obviously, to do that. But to apply for many of the roles, or probably all of the roles that end up on our platform, yes, you will have to have working rights, or PR or citizen or the like. And more you find that employers are actually kind of asking that up front as well as, kind of a hurdle. So, but yes, I mean, there have been people that I've interviewed that are currently in India and looking to move here. Sure, sign up, because, it's one less thing you'll have to think about when you do finally move here. That's fine. But, to apply for the role, you would have to be here in Australia and have the working rights. Yeah.
And also you need to know the work culture.
Exactly.
The work culture in every country is different.
And you really only find that out when you're on the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So most important question, and which is what I would also like to know, please tell us step-by-step instructions on how to apply. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. I've got a terrible cough. So my words are all jumbled up. So step-by-step instructions.
So I would say that the step-by-step instructions, if you're listening to this, would be that, Celia, you have a unique link, obviously,
Yep. I
that
will send that. Yep.
that the listeners can actually log in through. And it's really important that you use that particular link rather than going straight to our website, which you can do. But we would love to know that you actually came through Try Chat in Community, because it really helps us, help you stay connected to this particular community and also help you as well. So you just have to put your name, a username that you would like to use when you do log into the platform, and you select Try Chat Community from the drop-down box from the link that Celia will send out. Then what happens is we'll actually get those details and sign you up to the platform officially in the back end, and you'll get your password. Once you do that, log back in, go to, you'll open up to the dashboard, and you can go to the side menu, and there'll be a little area called Add Resume. You just click on that, start adding your preferences. That should take you no more than 2 minutes, and you can upload a resume that you've already got. And the great thing about our platform at the moment is you can actually add multiple resumes. So you might have multiple skills.
Oh, okay.
You might be in IT, but also product or a business analyst. You can actually get those resumes all sorted now, so that when you do want to apply in the future, you don't have to be necessarily rewriting all those resumes all the time. You can just use the button on the correct resume to apply.
And can they update the resume? Say they've uploaded the resume tomorrow, and then 6 months later they have had another. They've upgraded, they've upskilled. Can they make the changes on the resume itself, or do they have to add a new resume?
They would have to re-upload a new resume. So at the moment, our platform just has a file upload, not actually a place where you have to retype your whole resume into our platform. So you can use your current resume that you've created and simply upload that file.
Perfect. And how long does the whole process take? I mean, I know it is easy for us to say, oh, you put your resume in today and tomorrow we get a job. It doesn't happen. We know it doesn't happen. It takes a really long time to get a job.
Yeah. I would say, look, don't expect anything tomorrow. We are in the midst of, talking to employers towards the end of this year to hopefully get more and more jobs on the platform next year. And from there, I would say, I think the biggest thing we see is that we see quite a few number of mums and women who are qualified on our platform for a lot of the jobs that we post, but we don't get them all applying. And so I would say, just keep putting your hat in the ring. Don't be afraid to put your hat in the ring. But if you do put your hat in the ring, make sure it is a role that you believe that is in line with the pathway that you're looking for. Don't just put your hat into every ring, but don't also feel held back or fearful of applying.
Also, to be realistic, Anita, this is nearly the end of the year. There's not going to be any hiring, come December and now up until February. So people actually have at least 3 months to really polish up their CV, put it up on your website by, say, end of December, beginning January, and then come March, April, things start moving again, because everybody comes back to work around the first week of February, and nobody's hiring as soon as they come in. It takes a bit of time getting into the work mode, and then it all happens. And this is being realistic. I mean, we cannot say, okay, you put up your resume and, if you're lucky, yes, you'll be called day after tomorrow. But in reality, that doesn't happen.
And I think, the point we're trying to make here as well is that we know that for the normal, candidate, that yes, it might even take them a few months, but for mums, it's taking way longer anyway. So we are already trying to reduce quite a long timeline that already exists.
Yeah. Perfect. And I'll just add to that as Anita said before, at the moment we're really going hard at talking to the employers, but we need to know what type of talent is out there. So we need the mums and the women to sign up and put their CVs in there, so we can say, hey, we've got X number of people skilled at this or at whatever level. And so we can sort of anonymize that data to aid and facilitate our conversations with our employers that we're speaking to. And that helps to get more jobs in. So it's kind of, you will, to those of you listening today, the sooner that you do get your details and your resumes up, that will help us to, collect that information and generate and get more jobs in the system so that you can then hopefully be able to apply. So please do that.
Yeah, and just to quickly add again, Celia, the number one thing that we've heard from employers is, bring us the mums, and then, we can try and figure out, where to slot them in, appropriately as well. So there are employers out there, thinking about things differently. They don't have all the answers and they don't exactly know what it's going to look like for their business. But, they've said, bring us. If you bring us the candidates, we can work with you.
And work is very flexible. Since COVID, you can work from anywhere. The digital nomads are there for a reason.
Right. And I know you said you have a rural audience as well.
Yep.
Don't feel disqualified. We also need to show that there are skills all over Australia, not just in the big cities. So yeah, don't be shy.
Sorry, my cough is getting in the way.
All good.
So how different are you guys to the recruitment agencies?
To be honest, yeah, you want to go, Jess? You go.
I was going to say, we want to partner with the recruitment agencies, to be honest. And so if you're listening and you are a recruiter, come chat with us, because it's about a win-win. So we think about recruiters and the types of jobs that they have, or the types of candidates that they have. It might not always sort of fit. And so for us, we are creating an alternative career laneway for these mums. And so we can partner with recruiters to say, hey, for example, if you've got a job that you're looking for a candidate and we've got the candidate, then hey, let's work together. Yeah. If you've got some candidates and we've got some jobs, then it's working together. So again, it's that sort of harnessing the ecosystem as what we were talking about earlier. So it doesn't have to be using a competitive sort of mindset. For us, it's about win-win. Ultimately, we want to support the mums and get them into jobs, and that's all that matters.
Great. Before we sign off, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners?
I think, the number one thing I would want to tell you is that we have done probably 2 and a bit years of work on research and real life conversations across the ecosystem with, employers, recruiters, coaches, HR, HR managers, mums. So we know this space quite well. We know the challenges that mums face, and we do envision this to be, a really big platform. So, the sooner you get involved, the sooner we can actually make a significant change in Australia, because there's lots of you out there. And we really do believe that, there's some really positive, I guess, things that can happen in the future for this group of people if we simply just come together.
Absolutely. It's all about collaboration, isn't it?
Isn't it? And like you've said to us all along, Celia, women supporting women, that's
Absolutely.
kind of...
Women supporting women is something that I'm passionate about, yes. And we need to do it for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, did you want to say something?
Well, my final words here would be, if you're an employer or you work in a business that has a skill shortage or has job vacancies, we have an amazing pool of candidates with skills that will be able to help you. And so some of these people most likely would not be using the traditional or the mainstream platforms. And so you're really tapping into an underutilized and undertapped pool of talent. If you're a candidate that's looking for a role, we've talked about that, please do sign up. share with us your CV and your details, so to help us get more of those jobs to help you. And if you're someone that's somewhere in between in the ecosystem that is supporting the mums or supporting the employers, we still want to talk to you, and we want to partner together to make all of this happen. Anita and I are mums ourselves. We are very experienced in the corporate world, and we've experienced it both ourselves. We've observed it in our peers. We've seen it in a lot of different people. And so we are here to really help make a difference to the statistics that we talked about before. And so we invite you guys to join us on this mission to support working mums.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will share this like I promised you, and we will be in touch.
Thanks for having us. This was great.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.